All right, let's dive in. We're taking a deep dive today into Italy's cybersecurity scene.
Sounds exciting.
It is. It is.
Yeah.
We're cracking open this Decreto Legislativo something 2024 PDF.
Oh, okay.
It's a new decree
Yeah.
that's shaking things up over in Italy.
I've heard about this.
Yeah. Now, I know legal jargon can be a bit dry,
Yeah.
but trust me, this one has some serious implications.
Really? What kind?
We're talking a potential cybersecurity overhaul for anyone doing business in Italy.
Wow. Okay,
Yeah.
so big changes.
Yeah, and what's fascinating is the scope of this thing.
Okay.
It's not just about like protecting government data or military secrets.
Okay.
It's going to impact a whole range of organizations
Uh-huh.
that are considered essential or important to Italy's overall functionality.
So it's broader than just the obvious targets.
Exactly. Way broader.
Hmm.
So not just the banks and power grids, right?
Right, yeah.
Who else is going to have to step up their cybersecurity game?
Well, think about, like, your everyday life. We're talking energy providers, transportation systems, healthcare facilities, digital service providers,
Yep.
even food production companies.
So even that little pasta maker down the street could be affected.
Potentially, yeah.
Wow.
It all comes down to an assessment of potential impact and risk.
Okay.
If a disruption to a particular entity could have significant consequences for public safety, national security, or the economy, they're likely to be included.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
So we've got this huge swath of organizations
That's great.
suddenly facing a whole new set of cybersecurity rules.
Yeah.
What exactly are they being asked to do?
Well, the decree lays out this multi-pronged approach.
Okay.
First and foremost, it mandates robust risk management strategies.
So not just like change your passwords regularly.
No. We're talking detailed procedures for
Yeah.
identifying, analyzing, and mitigating potential cyber threats.
Like a real deep dive into their systems and vulnerabilities.
Yeah, and then if an incident does occur, there are strict reporting requirements.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so think about like a hospital hit with ransomware.
Oof, that's a bad day.
Yeah, so under this decree,
Yeah.
they wouldn't just be like scrambling to restore their systems.
Yeah.
They'd be obligated to report the attack,
Oh, wow.
follow specific procedures for containing the damage,
Okay.
and cooperate with investigations.
So a lot of paperwork on top of an already stressful situation.
Yeah, it is.
Wow.
But the goal is to learn from these incidents, right?
Okay.
And improve overall cybersecurity posture.
That makes sense.
Yeah. There are also protocols for vulnerability disclosure,
Okay.
encouraging ethical hackers
Oh, okay.
and security researchers to report weaknesses they find
Uh-huh.
so they can be fixed before they're exploited.
Right, get them before the bad guys do.
Exactly.
And this is all happening under the watchful eye of like a new cybersecurity agency, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
The decree establishes the Agenzia per la Cybersicurezza Nazionale.
Oh, try saying that 3 times fast.
I know, right?
Yeah.
But they are the central authority for all things cybersecurity in Italy.
Okay, so they're the ones setting the standards.
Right, yeah.
Monitoring compliance, conducting audits,
Yeah.
even issuing sanctions.
Oh, absolutely.
Wow, they have some teeth.
They do, yeah.
So this isn't just like a suggestion box.
Oh,
They have the power to penalize those who don't play by the rules.
yeah. The decree outlines a range of sanctions,
Like what?
from warnings and reprimands
Okay.
to hefty fines,
Uh-huh.
and even the suspension of operations in extreme cases.
Wow, Italy's not messing around.
Nope.
Sounds like they're really putting their foot down on cybersecurity.
Yeah, for sure.
But it's not just about playing defense, is it?
No.
There's also this emphasis on cooperation and collaboration,
Right.
both within Italy and internationally.
That's a key part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, the decree recognizes that cybersecurity is not a solo mission.
You can't just build a wall and hope for the best.
Exactly. It encourages information sharing between public and private entities,
Okay.
promoting like a united front against cyber threats.
So, like, imagine a scenario where a telecommunications company
Yeah,
detects a new type of malware.
right.
Under this decree, they wouldn't just try to fix it themselves.
No, they wouldn't.
They'd share that information with other companies
Yeah.
and the cybersecurity agency,
Exactly.
potentially preventing like a widespread attack.
That's the idea.
Wow. So it's really about a collective defense.
It is.
And this collaborative approach extends beyond Italy's borders, right?
It does, yeah.
Okay, what does that look like?
The decree explicitly highlights participation in EU-level initiatives,
Okay.
like CSRT networks.
What are those?
These are essentially rapid response teams for cyber incidents.
Okay.
And then there's EU Cyclone.
Okay.
which focuses on building a robust European cybersecurity ecosystem.
So it's all about pooling resources and expertise
Exact.
to tackle threats that don't respect national boundaries.
Right, because cyber threats, they don't care about borders.
No, they don't.
have-
We go wherever they want.
So this raises an interesting question, though.
Okay.
How do you balance the need for international cooperation with protecting
Right.
national interests and sovereignty when it comes to sensitive cybersecurity information?
Yeah, that is the million-dollar question, isn't it?
It is, and it's something we're going to have to tackle later on in this deep dive.
Definitely.
But one thing's clear, Italy is positioning itself as a proactive player
Uh-huh.
in the global cybersecurity landscape.
Yeah, they're not shying away from the challenge.
No, they're definitely stepping up.
For sure.
All right, so we've got the lay of the land.
Yeah.
Italy's new decree is a game changer
Uh-huh.
with potential ripples throughout their entire economy.
Yeah, this is going to have a big impact.
It is,
Mm-hmm.
but what does it all mean for the people and organizations operating within this new cybersecurity ecosystem? That's the big question. We're going to tackle that right after this.
Yeah, can't wait to dig into that.
I know, me too. It's there.
Okay, so we're back and ready to really dig into the details of Italy's cybersecurity decree.
Yeah, let's get specific.
Exactly, because it's one thing to say boost your cybersecurity,
Right,
but it's another to actually, make it happen.
for sure.
What stood out to you as the most impactful changes for organizations on the ground?
I think one of the biggest things is this move towards security by design.
Security by design, what does that even mean?
So it's not just about, bolting on security measures after the fact.
Yeah.
It's about baking cybersecurity into the DNA of systems from the very beginning.
Okay, so
Yeah.
like those delicious biscotti where the flavors are all mixed in,
Exactly.
not just sprinkled on top.
Yeah, perfect analogy.
Okay, I like it.
So imagine a software company developing a new app.
Okay,
Under this decree, they wouldn't just add security features as an afterthought.
right.
They'd need to consider security implications at every stage of development.
Wow, so from the initial design to the coding
All of it, yeah.
to the final testing.
Even deployment.
Wow, that sounds like a huge change
It is a big shift.
for a lot of companies.
Yeah.
Is Italy really ready for this kind of cybersecurity revolution?
It's ambitious, for sure,
Yeah.
but the decree recognizes that just reacting to threats isn't enough anymore.
Right, you got to get ahead of it.
Exactly. It's about building resilience into every layer of digital infrastructure.
Okay, so it's not just about software, right?
No, it goes beyond that.
Okay.
Think about a hospital building a new wing. They'd need to consider cybersecurity risks associated with the building's physical security systems,
Yep.
network infrastructure, even the medical devices themselves.
So it's like a holistic approach.
Precisely.
Not just focusing on the digital side.
Exactly. And this shift to security by design, it has the potential to fundamentally change how organizations approach cybersecurity.
So it's proactive.
It is, yeah.
Prevention, not just reactive patching.
Exactly.
Okay, so we've got the systems covered, but what about the human element?
Ooh, that's a big one.
Yeah, because we all know that even the strongest security measures can be undermined by human error or just negligence.
You're absolutely right, and the decree doesn't shy away from this.
Okay, good.
It mandates comprehensive personnel security and training programs.
So they're taking it seriously.
Yeah, organizations are required to educate their employees
Uh-huh.
about cybersecurity best practices,
Okay.
ensuring they understand their role in maintaining a secure environment.
It's like building a human firewall
Exactly.
alongside the technical ones.
Yeah, imagine a phishing email targeting employees of a bank.
Okay, yeah.
If those employees have been trained to recognize and report suspicious emails, they're less likely to fall victim to the attack.
Right. Knowledge is power.
It is, especially in cybersecurity.
Okay. And it's not just about preventing those accidental breaches, right?
Right.
What about deliberate insider threats?
Yeah, that's another key area the decree addresses.
Okay.
It requires organizations to implement robust access control measures, limiting access to sensitive data only to those who absolutely need it.
Right. Need to know basis.
Exactly. They also need to establish clear procedures for monitoring user activity
Okay.
and detecting any suspicious behavior.
So it's about having those checks and balances in place,
It is.
even within an organization.
Yeah, it's about creating a culture of security awareness,
Okay.
where everyone understands the importance of protecting sensitive information and following the proper procedures.
I like that, a culture of security awareness.
Yeah, it's got to be part of the DNA of the organization.
It's fascinating to see how this decree is shaping Italy's cybersecurity landscape with, like, so much detail.
It is. It's very specific.
It's not just vague guidelines. It's getting into the nitty-gritty of what needs to be done.
It is. And that level of detail extends to specific technical areas as well.
Well, like what?
For example, the decree mandates the use of strong encryption
Okay.
to protect sensitive data, both in transit and at rest.
So like adding an extra layer of armor.
Exactly. And it goes even further, addressing things like multi-factor authentication, secure communication channels, and even backup and disaster recovery plans.
So they're really thinking of everything.
They're trying to, yeah, it's a comprehensive approach, leaving no stone unturned.
This all sounds very impressive, but it also makes me wonder.
What's that?
Is this all just a bunch of rules on paper? Or is there a real commitment to implementation and enforcement?
That's a valid question.
Yeah.
And the decree does lay out a framework for enforcement.
Okay, so they thought about this.
They have the Agenzia per la Cybersicurezza Nazionale.
There it is again.
I know, right? They have been given broad powers to monitor compliance, conduct audits, and impose sanctions on those who fall short.
So there are real teeth to these regulations.
Absolutely. And it's not just about punishing those who don't comply.
Right.
It's about creating a culture of accountability.
Okay.
And raising the bar for cybersecurity across the board.
So raising the tide lifts all boats.
Exactly. Everyone benefits.
Okay, but let's zoom out for a second and talk about the bigger picture.
Yeah.
How does this decree fit into the global cybersecurity landscape?
Right.
I mean, we touched earlier on collaboration with the EU.
Yeah.
But what about beyond Europe?
That's a key aspect.
Okay.
And the decree emphasizes international collaboration as a crucial component of Italy's cybersecurity strategy.
So they're not trying to go it alone.
Not at all. They recognize that cyber threats don't respect borders.
Nope.
And tackling them effectively requires sharing information and coordinating efforts with other countries.
So building bridges, not walls.
Exactly. The decree specifically mentions participation in international organizations like the International Telecommunication Union, the ITU, and the Internet Governance Forum.
IGF.
Yeah, the IGF. It also encourages bilateral agreements with key partner countries to share threat intelligence and best practices.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, imagine a scenario where a cyber attack originates in one country.
But targets critical infrastructure in Italy.
Okay.
By sharing information and collaborating with international partners.
Right.
Italian authorities might be able to detect and mitigate the threat before it even reaches their borders.
It's like a global cybersecurity neighborhood watch.
Exactly. Everyone's looking out for each other.
I like that.
And this kind of collaboration is becoming increasingly important as cyber threats become more sophisticated and interconnected.
And that brings us back to that question of how do you balance international collaboration with national sovereignty when it comes to sensitive cybersecurity information?
That's a delicate balance.
It is.
And it's something we'll explore in more depth in the next part of our deep dive.
Okay, cliffhanger.
Stay tuned.
All right, so we've covered a lot of ground with this decree.
We have.
From the sweeping changes to this delicate balance between collaboration and sovereignty. But, you know, sometimes I wonder, even with the most well-intentioned laws,
are they actually followed?
That's the question, isn't it?
Yeah.
Enforcement.
What happens if someone just says, forget this
to
these new rules?
Well, that's where the Agenzia per la Cybersicurezza Nazionale comes in.
Them again.
I know, right?
This long name.
Yeah, but they've been given some serious power.
Okay, like what?
They're not just issuing polite recommendations. They can conduct audits, demand information, even impose some hefty fines for non-compliance.
So no slap on the wrist if you're caught cutting corners.
Not at all.
On cybersecurity.
The decree outlines a graduated system of sanctions, starting with warnings and escalating to some potentially significant financial penalties.
Wow, so they could really feel it in their wallets.
Yeah, and in extreme cases, they could even suspend an organization's operations.
Whoa, really?
Yeah, if they pose a serious risk to national security.
Wow.
Or public safety.
So they're not messing around.
Nope, Italy's serious about making this framework a reality.
Not just some words on a PDF.
Exactly.
This focus on enforcement aligns with what we see happening globally.
Yeah, it does.
It feels like cybersecurity is no longer an optional extra.
It's not. It's a fundamental requirement.
For any organization operating in today's world.
In a connected world, for sure.
It's like the Wild West days of the internet are over.
Yeah.
There's a new sheriff in town
That's a good way to put it.
laying down the law.
And it's not just about punishing the bad guys.
Right.
It's about raising the bar for everyone.
So when organizations know they're being watched
Yeah.
and held accountable,
They're more likely to invest in cybersecurity.
it just makes sense.
It does. It creates this culture of cybersecurity awareness.
Yeah, where it's not just an IT issue.
Right.
It's everyone's responsibility.
Exactly.
Okay, so this brings us back to that question of balancing
Yeah.
international collaboration with national interests.
Right.
How does Italy plan to share sensitive information
Right.
with other countries without compromising its own security?
Well, the decree addresses this pretty directly,
Okay.
emphasizing secure communication channels and data protection agreements.
So it's not just a free-for-all
No, there are safeguards in place.
to protect sensitive information.
Exactly. It's about finding that sweet spot
Yeah.
where collaboration enhances security.
But doesn't completely jeopardize national interests.
Exactly.
Okay, so let's bring it all home.
Okay.
What are the key takeaways from our deep dive into Italy's evolving cybersecurity?
I think the big takeaway is that Italy is making a bold move with this decree.
Yeah, it's comprehensive
It is.
and ambitious.
Ambitious, yeah, aiming to boost resilience across so many sectors.
And we've seen how it touches everything
Yeah, we have.
from risk management, incident reporting,
To personnel security.
even international collaboration.
Right. The whole picture.
And I think what's key is that there's a real commitment to enforcing this.
Yeah.
Sending a message that cybersecurity is not optional.
It's not. It's essential.
This decree signals a huge shift in how Italy's approaching cybersecurity,
Yeah, it's a proactive approach.
focused on prevention and accountability.
And that's a good thing.
It is, and for our listeners out there,
Yeah.
the takeaway is clear. If you're doing business in Italy,
Uh-huh.
you need to take this decree seriously.
Yeah, this is not just ticking boxes.
It's about really changing how you approach cybersecurity.
It's a new era.
It is, and as Italy implements these measures,
Yeah.
it's going to be fascinating to see how this impacts the global cybersecurity landscape.
Yeah, the ripple effects could be significant.
Well, that about wraps up our deep dive into Italy's cybersecurity decree.
It was a good one.
It was. We hope you found it informative and thought-provoking.
It may be a little bit alarming.
Maybe, but that's the world we live in. So until next time, stay curious, stay secure, and ciao.